Now, is it? Is it? Are we live? Yep, we're live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and we are live. I didn't even because I know y'all didn't see the marquee. I put the marquee up, but I don't know if y'all saw the marquee with the title. Y'all probably didn't.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another show, Brainwashed on Heavy, where we get into some of the woo woo stuff, outer limits, Twilight Zone, Fringe, whatever you want to call it. This is where we get into that. My co host, DCR, is in another region somewhere, but he'll be here shortly, hopefully. But we got Sister J. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
That's what's up. It's been a long week for me, highly anticipated, and a little weird, but it all twerked out on how it's supposed to go down on that episode of That's My Mama. But yeah, it's a little weird. But how's the weather where you are?
The weather is nice. It's super windy. Like it's so windy today. But of course, I'm in this thing because it's like 60 degrees in here. It's brick in here. It's really cold. But yeah, it's nice outside. It's like 80 something degrees.
Yeah, I think we probably were close to 80 today, and it was nice and sunny. All that jazz. Went to the park to shoot the hoops with the little ones. Well, they ain't little, but got some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. I mean, considering the world and everything that's going on, all this crazy stuff, and people talking about World War III and all this jazz. It is
Oh
what it
my
is.
gosh. I heard so many stories today about that. Like people stealing gas from your poking holes in your gas tank and taking gas and just a whole lot of nonsense.
Well, we're at a critical juncture right now. With everything going on in geopolitical world. Oh, there he is.
I don't know what the fuck going on with that shit though, but that's bullshit, man.
I knew it. I knew.
D- we're live, DCR. Thanks for the grand entrance.
The grand entrance.
That's foul though, man. I had to fucking try to remember that shit, man.
Well, yeah, you need to store your passwords in nice places.
No, you did something. Whatever you did, it said you were asking for all this other stuff, man. So I had to go through like verification and all that stuff, man.
Nah, that wasn't me, man. Sometimes the programs they update, and when they update, they don't tell me that they're gonna, have all these prompts. I didn't get any prompts. I was good. She Jay said she got the same prompts. But
You
yeah,
always updating, man. Getting tired of them, man.
that shit happens. It happens. Because when I did try to log in, it asked me to relink, you know, Facebook and all that type of jazz. But so people can watch on Facebook. But we're here. I knew he was gonna show up eventually. You good?
I didn't think I was, yo. I was about to just lay down and go to sleep, man. I was about to get a little mad, man. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to sleep,
What's
man.
funny is I knew he was gonna come in the way that he did.
Came in mad hot, mad hot.
Cause they
Yeah.
keep changing stuff, man. It's like they keep on they going so hard right now, trying to make everybody's life miserable right now. They trying to find any little thing to control and hear and everything you do. These bastards, I'm just tired of
Yeah,
it, man.
it is what it is. But
Tired of it, man.
we
Like
gotta
leave us alone, man. Let us live. You know what I mean? Get off our
They're not
dick.
gonna.
They
You're
on your
not
ass
gonna.
in the chat pot. They always that nigga live at the barbecue. I want to say what's up to the chat, man. Everybody in the chat. You have to. I know y'all just came in our house. Another thing. I want to stress. Please go to YouTube and hit the like button on our videos when you because I know a lot of people watch via Facebook, but when you have time, try to go over to YouTube if you like the video, you like the content, and like the video, share it if you like. But those likes help the algorithm for us, so we need to get that going and
When you
subscribe
have
if you
time.
if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do that. But yeah, everybody in the
When
chat,
you
what's up?
have time, stop what you're doing now and go.
Well, you got
Switch over, go, and then go back to what you were doing.
for us, that's a lot of steps. They like to keep the shit simple,
Like, I guess,
But
yeah.
but for those who are watching via Facebook, don't forget that because at some point, I don't want to. We got a private Facebook group for this where it notifies them. I'm gonna purge the Facebook group because we got a lot of people in there and they don't give a shit. They just whatever. They don't tune in. They don't. I'm gonna purge that page, and for those who support, then I keep all in. But everybody else,
I
you
need
know,
to get on Facebook. I didn't even know it was a private. I need to get back on
How do you
Facebook.
get on without Facebook anyway? They took me through all that shit. What about you?
she
Oh,
had
I went through the YouTube.
I don't even
yeah,
know that shit.
she had to use her YouTube account. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that's the world we live in. We got to keep it, you know,
I just want. Okay, what's up, man? How y'all
keep
doing?
keeps it moving and all that. Nah, we was just checking in, getting set up, and talking about the weather, how everything going with. We are, um, you
How
know,
about yours? The weather over by you?
Me?
in Jersey. What's going on out there?
It's all right, man. It's decent. It's still like was in the 30s, I guess 39. Kind of used to it though. Ain't nothing here. The sun was out though, so that worked. Sun
That's
was
what's
out.
up.
As long as the sun out on you, you could tolerate it. So
Yeah. I also want to say, for those who are tuning in, keep in mind when we stream these shows to Facebook, we got two channels. For those of you who do not know, POD are your general everyday topics and discussions that we may have that people can relate to. Brainwashed on Heavy is the other channel that we have where we get into things that are, like I said, a lot more deeper, and a lot of people, they like to stay on the outskirts of reality. With Brainwashed on Heavy, we kind of get really deep into thought and controversial topics, as well as a lot of metaphysical stuff and things that a lot of people not a lot of people are not into, but there's a lot of people that are into it. So if it's for you, because you may get the notification that we going live and realize that you might be in a Brainwashed on Heavy show thinking you in a POD show, but this is the Brainwashed on Heavy show, and today we're going to be discussing what is the Matrix. So if that's not your cup of tea, um then please hit the like button anyway, and if you're gonna
Right.
exit, just please do that. But I will stick around, yeah, because you might learn something about this artificial reality that we've constructed. And when I say we're gonna get into that. How we constructed this reality. Somebody's in the chat say, "Let me in." How many you got coming on? Who is that?
damn.
Who is that? Well, whoever that is saying, "Let me in." Um,
Maybe
I don't
who?
know who that is. It's somebody on Facebook, but I don't see a name.
What's your name?
They don't have a name.
Say your name. Give your name up. Who are you?
Yeah, I'll get that. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna discuss that. I was gonna do some current events, but we're gonna skip current events. There's one thing that I will discuss briefly, that is the conflict. Oh, that's I know who that is. There's
Who is it, man?
there's
You laughing at this shit, man. Who is it?
you'll find out soon enough. Um, there is one topic that I want to discuss right quick because it's dominating the headlines, and that's the Ukraine and Russia situation.
Oh my god.
I'll say this without getting off, not going to way left field with all of that, but when someone is directing your attention at an enemy and in so many ways conditioning you to be upset at someone, you should be weary of that. When your enemy is telling you who to be mad at for whatever reason, be weary of that. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, my philosophy is the establishment and the powers that be, from research and from historical experiences, have never had our best interests. So always do the opposite of what they say. They say drink the water because it's safe. Don't drink the
Can't
water.
drink it.
Right.
So when they say be mad at somebody for whatever reason, and they got
Don't
their
do
whole machine at play trying to convince everybody that somebody's really bad, they just might be the good guy. I'm just saying, do your homework. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
get into all that because I know how the algorithms work, and we don't want to be in Facebook jail. But all I'm going to say is, question who they're telling you the bad guy is always, and really do some homework to find out if they're really the bad guy because they just might be the good guy. That's all I'm saying. We're going to leave that right there. And on that note,
I'm too cute for jail. So yeah.
yeah, Facebook jail, they be doing the most because I ain't even do
They,
nothing. I posted a video and they threw me in there. So,
they should throw me in. Like I got thrown in. What? The longest I was in there for a month. I think they had me down for a month, and then they put me down 2 weeks. Then it was 3 weeks. Then it was a month. It was all in a row. I kept saying. Then I figured out how it works. So now I know. Now I know how it works. Like what words that they looking for. They only looking for certain words to be said. Anything dealing with a group of people or dealing with like humans and females, like stuff like that. If you're targeting any of them, you'll get in Facebook jail. So when you speak, you got to speak in a certain way. You got to, you know what I mean? You can't direct it towards man, people. You can't say people are this and that. You know, you can't say anything like that. Anything that's direct towards society, they'll get you out of
That's
there.
crazy how you're on a platform, but you have to I well, I guess that's how it works with everything. You have to conform to how they want you to say things or
Exactly.
behave or like that's
It's
bananas to
called
us.
protecting your. It's called protecting what you're doing. It's called protecting your value. You know what I mean? What it's building a wall. How can I say when you make laws, right? Those laws
well,
are there to protect the crap that you're coming up with, so you can do what you want because those laws are protecting you. You know what I mean? It's more like you can't say this and that. So long as you can't say this and that, I could do what I want because I'm really the one that's doing all the crap. But I'm gonna
Right.
just make it look like it's people against people. You know what I mean? Like it's me against you, but it's also protecting them. You know what I mean? So whatever,
yeah,
man. I ain't worried about them no more, man. Forget them, man.
I don't ever worry about them. That's just, it is what it is. This thing and whatever else has been going on when I got here is going to be going on when I'm gone. But I have to,
That's
I was taught to change the world in my own way from which I found it. So when I leave, I've added on to the bill. So that's good. Dwayne, somebody in the chat named Dwayne. I want to say what's up to that brother. Nobody needs the terms and agreements. What's up, Kareem?
Kareem Cooper.
Nah. Somebody saying what's up, Kareem. I'm gonna get to the chat in a minute. But yeah, on that note, be wary of someone telling you who to hate because the person that they want you to hate just might be the person you need to be down with in the long run.
And
But
then
on
at
that
the
note, we're gonna
right.
keep it. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this intro, but yeah, we're gonna get into that of what the Matrix really is. And yeah, hold it in the road, DCR. Hold it in the road. On that note, let's go ahead and do what we do. And we are back. We are back. Yeah, that was cool, man. He was trying to get in, but maybe he run into some problems. I don't know. But on that note, I guess once he figured out, then we'll go ahead and buzz him in, let him in the front door. Until then, we're gonna proceed with what we need, which is
Probably having the same problems we having. I mean, we have.
That's what I was
it,
thinking.
it very well could be possible. But he'll be all right. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Yeah, everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all coming through. And please, please, please submit some questions. I like for people to get in the conversation on whatever it is. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. No matter how outlandish the question or comment may be, throw it out there because we got thick skin for whatever. And at the same time, it is what it is. So please, but get into what we need to get into. What is the Matrix? We've all seen the movie. We've all been entertained by what we think the Matrix is. And like Neo said, I can't tell you what it is. You got to see it for yourself. Which in essence is a true statement when we talk about the Matrix. Aside from the Hollywood theatrics and all that jazz, the Matrix basically, from my understanding and research, is a construct of the consciousness of the collective people on the planet. Before we can really break down what the Matrix is, we got to get into how the Matrix is manifested. When they say in the movie that we are batteries, they show the machines using us as a power source. But let's bring it into a more practical sense on what they really mean, because we're not being plugged into machines and things like that in real life, but actually we are. But let's understand that concept like when you see it in the movies. The powers that be, well, before we get there, let's get down to how the mind works. In the Kabbalion, it talks about how the universe is mental. meaning the phenomenal universe that you see through your two eyes is only observed by the observer.
Right.
So the universe that you see only exists because you see it, right? And that's for every individual. So the thing is, they say that your reality is pretty much constructed by your dominant thoughts on how you see the world. Because how you see the world may be different from me. So my reality and how I experience it may be totally different from the person standing next to me because I see the world different.
Right.
And that's very real to that individual. But what has happened is it's kind of like computer software. The powers that be have hijacked our subconscious mind through programming, like on television and movies and shit like that. So the more they program our subconscious mind with all this junk of imagery and religion and stories and commercials and books and whatever the fuck that they can put in front of us, our subconscious mind is the motherboard of our phenomenal universe. So whatever's planted on there, we project it outward and we create the reality around us. They've hijacked the process. How have they done that? So basically, they've put what they want. Take, for instance, we just came out of this. Well, I'm not going to say we just came out, but because I don't want to get flagged. They'll flag you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just take CV-19, right? All of a sudden, it's kind of like magically just going away because nobody's talking about it no more. And when I say nobody's, I'm talking about them. They ain't talking about it no more, really. And as long as they ain't talking about it, we don't give a fuck. We short attention span. We on to the next shit. Now we talking about Putin and all these other motherfuckers. But it's such a quick shift in consciousness that we don't even realize the game. The bottom line is the people on this planet create the reality and experiences based on what has been programmed in them. So they're using us to project outward this reality that they want. Oh, let me pop Coop in here. Bloop.
And they finally found the greatest tool of all.
Yeah,
Social media, baby.
Right.
there we go. There we go.
It's,
All right.
it's yeah,
What's
it's
up,
part of
brother?
it.
What's up?
What's up, Coop?
You could create a war on social media and nothing. You could create an artificial war on social media.
Right.
Well,
You don't even need a war.
that's the point I'm making, that when you can use the people collectively to create the reality for you that you want, it may be like 5 motherfuckers somewhere behind a curtain. They showing a big ass picture on a screen. You got 1 billion motherfuckers over here watching the screen. The billion
Mhm.
cats over here pretty much create the society based on how they feel, what's been programmed into them, right? If the 5 people behind the curtain is programming them with a reality that they want, they don't even realize that they're operating on a system that is not even their own.
Mm-hmm. That's the Matrix, baby. I guess that's what you're breaking down.
That's the Matrix.
Yeah.
We are creating the artificial reality because we kind of got spyware running on our subconscious minds that was planted there by someone else. That's the fucking Matrix. And they're using us. They're using us to create whatever reality and situation that they want. As long as we buy into it, we can manifest it. So they're using us as the batteries.
Yep, we the batteries.
And that's what the movie was conveying.
That's
So
what it was saying.
CV-19 is on the back burner because they have this look over here tactic with what's going on now with Russia and all that stuff.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Well, here's what happened.
we are the
Here's what happened, though.
conduits.
We're the
Yeah.
conduits. But here's what happened. When your matrix starts to, when you have a glitch in the matrix, the real glitch was they put the program out there and it was running good for a while, maybe a year or two, right?
Yeah.
What happened was people start poking holes in the program. The program wasn't running properly. Everybody started questioning it. Then you had all of these little subgroups popping up with information from around the world that was contrary to the program. And it got so bad and it bubbled up so much, they had to get rid of the program because people collectively started not to subscribe to it, and it didn't work. So they had to go to Plan B, and Plan B was this situation we're looking at now.
And if you notice, it's always something new, man. They go out of one situation to another.
Yeah,
It's like
look
they
over
always,
here. Look over here.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is.
It's like all right, that don't have your attention no more. Look over here now. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All
right.
right, you ain't studying that no more. We got to keep you entertained with this.
Yeah.
Like they always want to keep you on the level of.
And every time when they come up with
What's
something
the
like
word?
that, they always make a way of putting us in a different type of cuffs because of that. Oh, this is
Yeah,
security.
yeah.
This is security. Now we're gonna add this. Now we're gonna add that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So we're
I mean,
technically in
go ahead.
control. Like
All
we
we
really
Yeah.
are. We really are. We really
we're
are.
technically in control, but through programming, they kind of like
Yeah.
Some of our teachers, some of our elders, if you know the chat might be familiar with them. I know Cooper's familiar with a lot of them, like Bobby Hemmond and Phil Valentine,
Mhm.
and a lot of them. They always said, and the 5%ers used to say this: take the devil off your mental plane.
mhm.
That means you have to take whatever it is mentally that they're giving you and just stop thinking about it. Just wipe it. Just focus on something else. Just don't give them no attention, because wherever attention goes, energy flows. So as long as we're not resonating with it and vibrating on it and none of that shit, it just dissipates. It goes away. It's just
That's
that
why
easy.
they keep coming up with different stuff. Like once it die down, you know what I'm saying? Then they got to come up with the next thing.
Yeah.
They just keep you stressed and you know this and that and
Not necessarily saying that it died down. It's just not working.
It's not
well that
working.
too. Well yeah. I mean you can look at it that
The
way.
media
You can look at it
behind
that
it
way.
died
Yeah.
down.
True.
So let's come up with something else and let's create a bad guy.
Yeah. It's always a bad guy.
Let's create. Now we got all these people coming on. Oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this because Russia make money. All this stuff. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not even playing that game right now. I'm not playing that game. You don't know what you're talking about, man.
I don't either.
You're gonna be somebody enemy and don't know nothing about why you they enemy. Yeah, that's the most ignorant thing in the world.
And a lot of times they like to control your emotions because you know we go off emotions a lot, especially us black people.
9/11, baby.
9/11, but even with the celebrities, they always got something going on with a celebrity. R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. It's like they always keeping something to keep you. You know what I'm saying?
Look over here.
Yeah, look over here. Basically, what she said.
Because it's
It's
all
always
about
an issue. R. Kelly been doing that shit. All these people been doing what they've been doing. But once they need you to focus on something else and take your mind off of what's really going on, they put that shit out there. And we get into who cares? I mean, he sang good, but shit, I know it's my fucking child unless it fucking. You know what I'm saying? But people be, you know, people so invested in these damn celebrities, they control us a lot with celebrities, man.
Yeah.
As far as our thinking, like they sway us to think a certain type of way and deal with our emotions with celebrities.
I
and
think
athletes.
I disconnected to a lot of stuff. Like I don't watch the news. I
Me
done
neither.
shut down social media. Like I
don't watch the
know,
news either.
They don't like that. They don't want you to cut all that off now. Okay.
Yeah, I you know,
you might become a virus pretty soon to their system. They want you to pay attention to all of that.
no, I don't have a TikTok. I done cut off Instagram. I deleted Facebook. It's just like, yeah.
But that's anybody that's awake technically is a virus to the software. Neo, once he questioned what it is, that's when the whole thing began. So once you start questioning your reality, that's when you begin the journey of poking holes in what you're seeing and what you are experiencing. And once you start doing that, you start a cascade effect of all of these scenarios, because the universe, you know how the ancients talk about the universe bends to your will based on your consciousness. This is why when you get on a certain path, certain people pop up, certain situations pop up, things that you need to facilitate that journey, it'll just start popping up because now you put your attention in that area, and now the universe is bending to that and creating.
Yeah, because it's all energy. It's all energy. So that energy just flow that way. Whatever you put your energy into, that's what you attract.
So yeah, that's definitely the key element. The thing about Neo was a virus
Mhm.
to the Matrix because he was one in the Matrix that questioning it, and he woke up while in it. And when he woke up while in it, he became an entire problem. And the reason why he was the one is because the universe, like the Kabbalion says, is mental. But you can only observe your phenomenal universe through your eyes. So it's
True.
always just you. I only see y'all through my eyes. That's it.
Mhm.
I can't see the world through nobody else's eyes. So it's always the one me that's experiencing all of this shit. Y'all are part of my reality. I'm a part of y'all reality.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just you. So he became the one that woke up inside the Matrix and questioned everything. Now he's an issue. But the people that were still asleep, and this is why I explain to people all the time, you know, don't be trying to quote unquote wake people up before their time,
But they're
because
ready. Yeah.
the programming is like Morpheus said. You see all of these people when he was standing on the street and all the people were walking by, going about their everyday business, working their jobs and all that. He said, all of these people are potential agents. You know why?
All of
Because they still plugged up and they believe this. So anything that's anti the system, they may kill you for that.
Yep.
They may attack you for that. And that's what happens to
They
quote
call it
unquote.
cops. They'll do whatever they got to do. If you said, they'll do like thinking that they're doing a good thing. They don't even realize it.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
they're still on the program. But the beauty of the Matrix is when you get down to the architect of the whole thing, he's pretty much the guy. Well, you got the Hollywood aspect of it, and then you got the esoteric aspect of it. But the architect is basically saying, look, and he wasn't God or anything, but he was a physical manifestation of a mechanic that makes the universe does what it does. Because keep in mind, this ain't the first time we've been on this ride. Most people think this is the first time you've been on this ride. This ain't the first time we've been on this ride. And this ain't the first time we've experienced or going to experience what they call Nehas. Nehas is like enlightenment or the awakening process. And, but this has already been done. It's just being experienced by us now because the universe operates in cycles. So if you look at it, I'm pretty sure y'all all saw a slinky before, right? A slinky. Remember the old school?
No, I'm just
You
kidding.
saw a slinky before.
I'm
'cause
just kidding.
You went to the top of the steps and let it walk down. I did it. I remember.
You remember the slinky from the 80s?
Man. You just
Yeah.
drop it.
A slinky,
It was the most.
a slinky.
The slink.
Yeah.
Man, it's a wonderful toy. It's pretty
Right.
little girl, little boy. Remember that shit.
That should have been on last week's show.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
A slinky.
Yeah.
If you take a slinky, right, and you just let the slinky rest on the surface, and you stand over it and you look at it, you see a circle, right?
Yeah.
If you take the slinky and you pull it up, you see all these coils. At the bottom coil is still a circle.
Right.
But if you look at it from the side, as you get around to completing a circle on the slinky gets bumped up.
Oh yeah.
And it goes back
Right.
around again, and then it gets bumped up. And then it goes around again and it gets bumped up. And as you go up and up and up, it's a spiral that goes upward. This is how our spiritual growth is. So once we go around 360 degrees and we reach a level of completion, you don't repeat the same shit. You get bumped up to another level and you go back around again in a cycle. And once you complete it, you get bumped up. So the levels that we're on, it looks like one big circle, but actually it's not. It's just levels. And as those levels complete themselves, we elevate. So constant elevation causes expansion. So the more you learn and the more you expand your mind, the bigger your world becomes. I think Rakim said that. Constant elevation causes expansion.
Mhm.
So the more you expand your consciousness and the more you learn and the more you grow spiritually, in your awareness, your world around you has to get bigger. That's just the laws of the universe and how how you progress forward.
Yeah. That's on anything.
All right.
That's like when you train and do everything everything you do, the better you get at it, the more advanced you get at it, the more levels, like you said, the same shit. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying.
All right, nigga. So break down the Rubik's Cube now, since we're on these 80 shits like Slinkies.
Rubik's Cube is a beautiful thing. But go ahead.
Can you go somewhere with the Rubik's Cube? I'm just fucking with you, really.
I never. They had a
I'm about
Rubik's
my
Cube,
quarter one of those.
and they had this. Do you ever see the snake one?
They got a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was more. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
That thing is complicated, man. If they said that you had to get all that right in like 20 hours, man, that's a struggle, bro.
Yo, but you had some people that knew how to do it.
No. I'm just saying, but if you had to do that and you had 20 hours to do it to save the world, man, that's a test, man. And you never did.
But our cousin Lorenzo, he was able to do that. He used to do the Rubik's Cube. He was able to do it. I don't know how. But
Yeah,
I gotta focus on that thing, man.
yeah.
I didn't fool with them Rubik's Cube too tough.
they
I
hard.
bought one last year. I bought one just because 80 shit. Let me buy this.
Yeah, you know what? That's another one we should have brought up on the 80s. Just a
We
lot of
should
stuff
have
we
brought
missed.
that up.
We missed
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, man. We missed but
That's
you
what
know
I was telling him earlier. I was like, man, the 80s, there's so much in the 80s. We ain't even
So much.
much, man.
It's so much.
focus on that.
Yeah, we might have to circle back around on that one. We'll see and how
Part two.
how all that unfolds. And there was other people that hit me up that want to come on now, not just to do an 80 show, but just in general, like they just saw how how everything went. So they was feeling the vibe. But
Yeah. I mean that was a fun show because that was
Yeah.
a fun show.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was all good. But back to the Matrix thing. So let me ask y'all this question. Being that if you look at it, it's exactly like computer software. Being that we have spyware running on our subconscious mind, and that spyware is telling you that you have a freedom. That spyware is telling you you can do X, Y, and Z. That spyware is telling you to believe in X, Y, and Z. And as long as you are subscribing to all these things that are coming from the spyware that's running on your subconscious mind that you think is real when actually is not, it's creating a self-imposed prison and you don't even know you're in it. So when you get down to the movie, they always talk about the Matrix being this artificial construct or this world that you exist in. You can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, but it's there. You don't even know you in it because you're creating it. Nobody is forcing you into the Matrix. Nobody is saying you got to be in the Matrix. By default, you're being fooled to create the Matrix.
Because it's all mental. Basically, it's all mental. But they're controlling your mental. Yeah, but it's all mental. So yeah.
You ever read my Facebook? It says you decorate this prison with a lot of thought.
Yeah, that's actually
true.
good. Yeah, that's true. That's a
true.
good. Yeah. Because you think about it, we really can get out of it, but we just so confused and stuck in it.
It's not even confused. It's fear.
Well, it's fair.
So
You're right,
we're
you're
like-
right. That's getting better. It's fair.
We're
Right.
like
Better.
you guys ever see like the image of the cows? I think it's cows or horses. There's some animal and the gate isn't there, but they don't move or they don't escape because they think that the gate is there. So that's technically us,
Yeah.
so to speak.
It's all
Yeah.
mental. It's all mental brainwashing.
Now here's
But
the thing.
Go ahead.
In the movie Zion, right?
Yeah.
You remember Zion, the place where
Time was where everybody was free.
everybody
Yeah.
was free.
Yeah.
Zion represents that part of your consciousness that hasn't been touched by the Matrix, right? And it has to grow big enough to free you. It's like a seed. And that seed has to be nourished over time to get big enough to not break you out of the Matrix, but spark your consciousness to question the matrix.
So
Access.
like water. So
You're
like
saying
water.
access. You're looking for access. That's the word you're looking for. You're
So,
building
so
access.
water, which is basically knowledge. The more knowledge you get, the more water or knowledge considered seed. So the more water or knowledge you get, it grows and it grows, and then you out.
That's true. But here's the thing. It takes lifetimes after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime for you to complete this mission. That's why Zion had been destroyed how many times?
Yeah. I think it was like 7. I forgot how many times. It was like it
I need to
multiple
watch
times.
that.
It had been
multiple
destroyed
times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
So that's just letting you know that our incarnations from life to life is continuous until you reach that level of evolution where you wake up and realize that you are in a self-imposed prison. The fact that we're having this conversation is a testament to the fact that we've had enough incarnations and we came into this particular incarnation to wake up from that deep sleep and to question the reality. Everybody they can do it, and here's what I've been trying to explain to some people like DCR, because he has his ideology of people are either fearful, scared, or lazy, or don't want to be free, right? I disagree. The only thing I agree with is the fact that we all will be free through the process. You got to trust the process. You got a lot of people who came here in this lifetime. They're not supposed to wake up from this. That's not a part of their paperwork, spiritual paperwork. You know, we talk about that. That's not their order. Like when you're in the military, you get your orders and shit, what you got to do, where you got to go, and all that type of shit. That's not a part of their spiritual paperwork on why they came here in the first place. We came here to have this discussion, believe it or not, right now. So Zion represents your that place that's untouched, but at the same time, at some point it gets destroyed. At some point in this life or in our past lives or lives period, you had to transition out of here, which we call death, get destroyed, only to come back, get rebuilt, and go through this whole shit again. And each time you come back, you get closer and closer and closer and closer to waking up from this deep sleep. So we can't even worry about the ones who still plugged in. That's not why we came here.
I used to like literally try to argue points and just like go over things with people because I wanted them to understand what I was telling them and what I was trying to show. But yeah,
we all have. I went through that, man, for years.
Yeah.
But it would drain you. It would drain you.
It would drain, and then you wind up mad. Like, what is so
Yeah,
hard to
and
see?
then it turns into like an argument. Because I've been through that a lot here. I had a dude, and we went through religion. I know some of the people probably into religion, but I was breaking down so much stuff in religion. And he's from Atlanta, so you know he's from Georgia. So Georgia is the Bible Belt. And he's doing all kinds of wild shit. He's probably selling drugs, all that. But he still say he believes in Jesus, you know, all the religious stuff. So I was breaking down a lot of stuff. He had to admit to me, he said, I ain't gonna lie, what you saying sound true, make a lot of sense. But I still don't believe it. He told me he's feeling me, but he don't believe it. But you know why?
Yeah.
The fear, what DRC said earlier.
It's called comfort too. It's called comfort.
Yeah.
It's like it's a lifestyle that you don't know how to see beyond. You know what I mean? Some people are afraid to see beyond a lifestyle, even though you know that there is freedom out there. But what the hell is out there? You know, that's the big thing. Like, what is out there? What am I going to be able to survive? Am I going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, maintain if I try to free myself from this prison? Because this prison has provided me with everything I need. I don't have to think. I'd rather just be here and sit back and believe everything that, you know, the boss telling us. You know what I mean? Like, this is my world, you know, like.
Well, that's true for the ones that you said. That's true for the ones you said that are lazy. But like they don't want to think this is easy. Let me just live this life. But you got some that are just scared. It makes sense to them, but they've been taught to just be scared. Like they're scared to go against it, no matter how good it sounds.
They listen to the pastor said, pastor said. So what does Coop
Exactly.
know? What does Jay know?
You
You
don't
know?
know nothing.
But
That's
it's
a
a lack
part
of trust too.
That's
You
a
ain't no
part of
we ain't nobody special to them. We just, you know what I'm saying? That's how they look at it.
But the
It's a lack of
pastor,
trust. Though.
Cash is special. He's special.
Yeah. That's a part of the that's a part of the matrix. That's a part of the reality that the spyware has ran on the subconscious mind of the populace, and the populace has given birth or thought. It's a thought form, but they've given birth to that reality, and it's real to them. And that's what they're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. But
And
you
they
got to
feed
understand, you got some people on the brink of waking up, but this life might not be the time where they actually say, you know what, let me really, push the envelope on it. They might be right at the door. And you got some that your job is to wake up. They came here to be woken up. You just happen to be the person that's going to facilitate that. But then you got some people who are right at the door. They're not going to walk through the door in this lifetime. Like the person you just described, you'll get comments like, makes sense. I feel it. Never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm going back to my seat and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna chill.
That's basically what he told me in so
Yeah.
many words. Yeah.
Because he's right at he is at the door. He's not one that's gonna wake up in this lifetime. It's because it's not for him to wake up in this lifetime. Then you got some who are still completely asleep. It's nothing. Ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then you got some that have so much going on for them in the system where, hey man, why would I want to lose this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some people
yeah.
that
That's
Those are the
other
ones.
side. Yeah,
Those are the
yeah.
ones who are completely asleep. Those are the ones.
Like the
Yeah.
ones who feel like they successful, they got a good
yeah, exactly. Like
money.
they,
I
those
don't hear none of that. Oh, this has worked for me, and maybe it has, and it, mentally.
Who do we know like that?
Oh, yeah.
No,
But
the thing is,
that person is an example of one that is still in slumber, like really good
Yeah.
slumber.
Yeah.
And I don't look at that as a bad thing because I respect the structure of universal law, and I submit to the
I don't
structure of
either.
universal law. So those who are asleep, I understand. My job is not even here to try to wake you up from that shit.
yeah, because go ahead. My bad.
They can become, they are proverbial agents, and
Mhm.
something has to happen if you keep pushing. If you keep trying to wake them up, something's gonna happen.
And
Right.
They don't want to
some
be
of them,
woke. Yeah.
some of them, some of that shit in friendships.
Yeah.
I'm about to say they become
Yeah,
your
it
potential
should.
that if you really break it down, I hate saying this, but if you ain't with me, you're against me, and that's basically the whole thing right now. Like you can't really when you got people on different sides. That's actually the 19 proved that you got people on different sides. You know what I mean? And it builds so much friction in between. Those people become your enemies. You know what I mean? It's like, so you gotta look at the world when if this was the crumble, you're still gonna have people holding on to it, and then and it's like trying to join with them people might not be a good idea. You know what I mean? It's like on levels they could be potential enemies. That's all I'm saying.
But isn't that the same thing that Morpheus said to Neo?
Yeah,
When they were standing on that street?
I was just thinking about
I
it when
can
you
see
said
you
that.
guys so much
Yeah.
clearer.
That's the same exact thing he told him.
Oh shit!
Everybody in the Matrix is a potential agent.
They love it. They love it. They so involved in the system. They love it to the point where they would turn on you to protect it.
Yeah.
Especially when they got that money for it. Nigga go, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got that money, man. It's like, yo, I got millions of dollars. Man.
But check this out. It's kind of like the house nigga was in slavery. The house nigga would turn on the field niggas quick. Like if you try to say shit about the master and all that, because he was getting treated so well, he felt like he had a good life. So he would turn on the field niggas quick. Like if they tried to leave and rebel, escape, or try to kill, or whatever, he would turn and tell the master. It's the same scenario. They believe in him so much.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta navigate to yourself, man. Like I said, it's only a selective few that that you know who to go to. That's why I said, like, you know, people always like, you know, we was wrong for that too. Like, you know, we'll go around trying to, you know, speak our word, and not saying we trying to be smarter than you know anyone, but it's something inside of us that always just want to, yo, man, it's more to what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it's
not
like, yo, it's
everybody.
more than that, brother. Like,
Yeah.
he's really like coming at you on some real shit. Like, yo, man, it's more than life is more than this, man. Life is much deeper than that.
And then you
Yeah,
keep talking
there's,
that, and they go talk to the powers that be. Something
But you
wrong,
know,
Master.
like sometimes, like when you
Go
might
ahead.
talk to somebody and tell somebody something, or share an opinion with somebody, and it might be the person you least expect to go and say, like, go and tell. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Well, that happens at jobs too. You know how that be at a
Yeah,
job.
Oh yeah,
you just be
yeah, but
surprised.
you
Like,
can
You
sense
tell
that
some
though.
simple shit. It's
You
like,
can sense
really,
that though.
you
Once
really
you get
would
to a certain
expose
level,
that?
you can
Like, come
sense
on,
that.
man.
yeah, you
You
can
can
sense,
sense
you
that.
can definitely sense it. But
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, in those times, like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
yeah. Like slavery, which is basically just like I say, it's just pretty much like the system, the
You
matrix.
ever tell
It's the whole
somebody
thing.
something and you know you shouldn't have told them? You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Yeah,
that conscious mind, like, yo, you really talking to the wrong
yeah.
motherfucker.
Like like after you said it, you're like, I know I done fucked up.
right, right.
The conscious
Like,
self
I
be
done
talking
fucked
to
up.
you like, yo, don't even talk about that to this
Yeah.
person. Are you crazy?
But a lot of times it's too late. You done fucked up already. You're like, why did I tell this motherfucker that?
Yeah,
Did it come backfire on you?
yep. They want to run back out there, man. Like, shit, man. Yo, Trey! Yo, Trey! Yo,
that's funny. But yeah, let's let's get back on the subject, man. But in the Matrix, as we saw in the one they just put out, because we always thought like Neo was the one, and from a metaphysical standpoint, in order for us to truly become one, it's actually two pieces to the one. Trinity was the other piece of the one. She was actually the one the whole time. Trinity was. Neo was
her
the
guardian.
no, Neo was the he was almost like the energy that I'm gonna try to break this down from an Egyptian perspective because you probably get it better. In Egypt, Osiris is the king of Egypt. He sits on the throne. His queen is Aset or Isis, better known by her Greek name as Isis, but her name is Aset. Osiris sits on the throne as the king of Kemet or Egypt. If you look at the hieroglyphic for Aset, it's a throne. That's her hieroglyphic. When you see her name, it looks like the throne. The same throne that Osiris sits on is the same throne that represents the hieroglyphic for the queen. In other words, our Egyptian ancestors put the foundation for rulership can only be facilitated by the queen. He cannot be king without her foundation. She's the foundation of the entire kingdom. And without her, the shit don't work. So when you look at the culmination of the last Matrix that they made, Trinity was the one the whole time. We had the Hollywood aspect thinking that Neo was the one when actually Neo wasn't the one. It just couldn't work without her. That's why she was such an integral part of the whole, all the Matrix movies, that he was so, he kind of, okay, just say love. He was in love with her, but at the same time, from a metaphysical perspective, it can't come to a completion without the female.
Hey, you know what? What you said to it?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What
That
make,
makes so
he said
much
she would
sense.
fall in love with the one, right? He said it's like the most important thing was for her to fall in love, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that was Morpheus whole thing. You know what I mean? Like with the one that she would love would be, I guess, stating that she is the one, but
the Oracle.
Yeah, I was about to say she got it from the Oracle. The Oracle is the one that told that.
Yeah, that was the Oracle.
Okay. The Oracle then. So if it's so that love thing played a big part in that. It played a real huge is some deep shit to that one.
That
played-
made
it
so much
it played a
sense.
big
I didn't
part.
see it, but-
Yeah, it played a big part, not in the sense of love story from a European concept, because they
Right.
gave it to us like that, and we like, oh, he loves her, blah 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 blah. But it's much deeper than that. It
Right.
was more or less that this thing wasn't going to be able to complete itself without that piece of her coming forth and being presented on the world stage as being the one at the end. It was her the whole time. And that's the whole comedic story between Osiris and Isis. The whole
And I
shit.
guess that's why that person wrote it too. I guess that's why the black female wrote it, because it's a female the whole time, huh?
She used the science. I forget her name, but she used the science, but she didn't create it from a perspective of I'm just gonna put a woman ultimately as the one.
Oh, okay.
Just because no, it ain't have nothing to do with that. From a metaphysical standpoint, the woman is the one who opens the gate for you to reach enlightenment. This is when you get into the whole Jesus story and Mary Magdalene. Like you cannot reach that aspect without her. She's one of the keys. That's
all right, so when we go to like the fifth element, remember the woman was the fifth element.
She
My
was
favorite
the fifth element.
Yeah, even though they had a white woman, but you know what I mean. The woman was the fifth
Damn,
element.
Kareem.
So is this kind of the same thing?
Yes, but she was the fifth element to unlock everything. The power.
Yeah.
Wasn't that love?
Trinity.
Like
No, not love. Love is a concept. We already covered that.
I'm saying for the movie. I mean, she had to fall in love with something, right? Something to do with love, right?
Who? The
Fifth element. Yeah.
No, she didn't have to. She didn't have
I would
to
never
fall in
love with her.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm getting confused.
Nah, the woman, she's the fifth element. She's the key to unlock the whole shit.
Yeah.
That's just like true activation of your heart chakra comes through that aspect. That's why we have a bad concept of what love is. We have a concept of it taught to us by people who really, it's the
My
kind of
concept
use it
is
to control you.
terrible.
it's a program.
Kind of use it to control you.
Mine is
Kinda
terrible because I'm like a lover of love, like everything love, but
That's
that
what you
whole
call it.
concept is like, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with what you're
It's
explaining,
universal though.
but you're calling it LOVE.
Oh,
But the thing
I think
is,
we did cover that.
by nature, you're supposed to be that way. You don't put a name on it. It's natural. But when you say LOVE, now you're using a concept that people can either debate, they can argue with you, they can question it, blah, blah, blah. When people say God is a man, you open yourself for debate. If you say the universe or the all, how you debate that shit? It's everything.
Right.
So when you take something and you conceptualize it, you open it up to be picked apart. When you personalize it,
right,
it can get picked apart. So that thing that we call love is natural.
It's life.
It's one of those things that and I gave the example. Some of the greatest aspects or expressions of love, if you look at nature, the sun is always shining for our monkey asses down here fucking up.
You did.
Regardless of what we do, the sun is still providing us with what we need to be here. If that ain't the highest form of divine LOVE, I don't know what to tell you. Because we way out of control down here. Because if the sun was a personality, right? And we down here fucking up, I'm gonna burn all these motherfuckers up and start over.
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
You know, I still question the sun though. I still question the sun though, man. I'm still like I'm still not.
No, we're not going there.
We're not getting questioned. Nah. We're not going there.
I'm still not a firm believer that the sun.
That's fine.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But you know what? That's your reality.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I don't, but at the same time, I'm not like 100% on that
You have
on board.
questions.
That's fine. That's fine.
You know, with the sun being a natural thing, like
That's
that
fine.
thing could be man-made up there. That could be man-made.
It could be. But we're not gonna debate that. There's a lot of things I'm questioning, but until that egg hatches, I gotta roll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can't go there with the sun.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna say your reality is wrong. What I'm gonna say is you're entitled to that, and at the same time, when information comes to me that is way out there, I don't refute it. I don't shoot it down. I don't say that's bullshit. I have to kind of file it away because when things get filed away, that means at some point they may or may not pop up again, and then I can pull it out and be like, you know what? That's what this meant. Oh, I did hear that. And you start putting the pieces together. So when the information comes, I don't refute, anything.
Ray, you're so funny because I never say that I file it away, but I don't reject any information, but I always say like I put it back here.
Yeah. File cabinet.
I put it back here and yeah.
Yo,
that's why I said I'm not truly on board, but I'm on board. You know what I mean? I understand it and everything, but I still
You have
it's still a
questions.
question in the back of my brain. Like everything else is man-made here. You know what I mean? Everything here is man-made. Everything, your thoughts, the program, everything is like a part of the whole program. So you don't know if this is all programmed. So
Well, here's the thing. At the top, we said that the Matrix is a construct of mankind based on their consciousness. So you're right. It is man-made. So if the sun is something that you are observing through your eyes, and once your eyes close and you're not observing it anymore, does it exist to you?
it's gone for the moment.
So you're right. It is all man-made because man is on one end creating this reality based on the fact that there's software running on our subconscious mind, making us think a certain way. And then as we think, the universe just goes ahead and creates this whole shit, whether it be good or bad. And that's what the powers that be do so well. They program us and we give birth to it.
Yeah.
We got that power. They program us, we give birth to it.
And that's the thing with Neo. That's why he was, he got to the point where he was able to control his reality. That's why he's able to fly and do all these other things.
what you think we're trying to do now, brother? That's our whole purpose.
Yeah,
That's what I try to do every day. I don't even think about the world too much, to be honest with you. I'll be thinking about my mind be somewhere else 24/7, man. I don't even live here really. My mind is like in a whole different area. I'm somewhere else, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man, because they
don't live here.
because they piss me off so much. That the powers that be with all the shit that they doing to the world today has made me like again. They don't really matter.
But
They
see, I
don't
think
matter.
that's why some people get on drugs.
Out of here.
Huh?
Yeah, he got out of here. And that's probably why drug addicts be on drugs. They're like, fuck all this shit. I'm gonna just get high.
Yeah.
It be in
It
my
can
own
be,
reality.
Right.
Yeah, it could be a bit. It could be a bit overwhelming, but
I just don't see how somebody gonna tell me how to live my life, and I'm tired of doing that. And you ain't gonna tell me that I owe you anything or anything with this little goddamn game. I ain't playing no stupid little game like that.
That's why somebody that was homeless told me that it's a choice. I heard this before. A lot of people don't know that, but because it's programs you can get in, some of them just like they don't want responsibility. They don't mind sitting out there putting a cup out there getting money.
Oh hell yeah, they out there on purpose, man.
Yeah, they on purpose. They don't. That's their choice. They say, "Fuck all this. I don't want to pay bills.
It's all a choice.
I don't want to do none of this.
It's all
I'm just gonna sit out here and collect change, get me a beer every now and then."
But the only problem with them, I'm not saying they got a problem because they like what they're doing, but you can also be successful with that too. You could be successful with that. You could go out and, you know, you can go somewhere and be, you know, you can make your own shit and be a little more without begging everybody else for a dime, you know, like you can make your own shit happen, like being free like that. They done experienced the worst. So if you can experience it like that, you could pretty much rise fast, man. Like, cause at the bottom, they don't have nowhere to go. They out here begging.
Look at it. They don't care how you look at them. They don't care about none of that.
Dog.
Like, yo, so what?
That's a high level. That's a high level, dog. Because we ain't got the heart to go out on the street and work and beg a cat for a penny or a dime in front of everybody, and you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, like we don't. That's not it, man. But
put it this way. Their ego don't control them at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say that about them. They're like, fuck all that.
Well, that's what I was about to say. You should be able to be a productive citizen in society and still have that same mentality.
Yeah, if you can do that,
that's the goal.
You want to stop?
That's the goal. To be productive and still have that thought, you know, that frame of mind where you're not going to allow certain things, opinions, and how society sees you to affect you in any shape, form, or fashion. That's why you have personalities like ODB that people admired so much, because you have people who walk the proverbial proper citizen, live that way, but they will look at somebody else who's living free and by their own rules. They would admire them for being able to say and do what they wanted to do, guilt-free, and not have to be subjected to what people think about them. And everybody's not built like that.
Nah, they're not.
That's why when I used to look at the people, like, like when you look at people, though, where they dress and all that stuff, they got some weird stuff on and all that. And the older I got, I started respecting it. You know what I mean? I started respecting, like, yo, they aren't afraid to be them. They aren't afraid to step outside and be them. And, it's like when I stepped outside, I always made sure that I had to appease everybody else. You know what I mean? Like I had to wear what I felt that was more fit in to, everybody else's likings. You know what I mean? But I don't do that anymore either, though. I do my thing now too. So I got my own little weirdness that I guess people will say too, but I done got out of that. You know what I mean? It feel good to like do what you want to do and be who you want to be. You're happier. You're much happier expressing who you are. You can't care about what everybody else wants you to look like or think like and all that stuff. So, but that's one thing that you do see a lot of today, though. You do see a lot of people being them.
It's not enough. It's not enough. A lot is not enough. You got to have.
Well, it's been that way though.
Critical
It's
mass.
always been people that we would call weird, but they weird to us. But
but it's a lot of weirdness going on right now. If you want to call it weird,
it's not. It's that may be in your immediate surroundings. It's not enough to affect critical mass. Critical mass is when you have enough people to go in a particular direction where it shifts the entire planet.
Like
that's the problem.
Yes.
What do they call it? What do they call it? Like a paradigm?
Paradigm.
No, that would be
paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift.
You can have a paradigm shift as a result of critical mass,
right?
Yeah, but that happens after. But the critical mass situation is when you have enough people on the earth that move to a particular point in thinking where it tips the scales and it just overcomes the rest of the planet.
And that's why you becomes the paradigm shift.
Then you have a paradigm shift.
Okay.
So people, going back to the Matrix, Neo did not. He got to a point where, almost like the homeless person, the people who live on the street, he got to a point where, because he didn't believe, he believed that he had to be a certain way as a productive citizen. He did not believe that he was quote unquote the one. They was throwing that term around. He wanted to be regular. Regular means regular, like normal. We use the term normal and weird. The weird people are normal, and the normal people are weird. Neo wanted to be normal, right? Which is equivalent to being weird on the flip side. Once he accepted the fact that he was quote unquote the one, and I'm just going along with the script of the movie, he didn't care anymore about fitting in the illusion. That's when he was able to believe in himself to be whatever he wanted to be. Thus, he gained powers because of that. So he was able to block the bullets and fly and all this other jazz when he started basically being the homeless person. Think about it.
Right.
He didn't care anymore about fitting in the matrix. He believed more in himself and what he wanted to be regardless. And when he started to believing in the one, which was him the whole time, and what he wanted to be, that's like Morpheus kept telling him, you know, you got to accept this. That's the whole point of him going to the Oracle, because he didn't believe.
Yeah.
He wanted to be quote unquote normal.
And the Oracle playing games with him.
She didn't play games. She didn't play games.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but she made him more, you know, with the state of mind he had towards us. Like, I'm not the one. No, you're not the one.
Well, the Oracle was actually part of the system too, though. She was actually part of the system. She just had her own lane, but she was part of the system.
And the whole system was to get him to believe that shit. Not them tell him you the one. They needed him to believe that.
Ain't that something though? But that's a real, you know, for her to tell him that though, man. That a lot of cats would have just, I guess I'm not the one with the back. You know what I mean? Because you know she's the all wise. So if she tell him that he ain't the one, then he ain't the one.
She was telling him what he wanted to hear.
True.
Yeah.
When I heard her say that, I was like, damn, what you gonna do now, Neo? When she told him that shit. I remember when I said that, I was like, what you gonna do now? So she just told you you're not the one. But
that's what he wanted to hear.
He act, you know, like you said though, he wasn't the one.
He wasn't. That's what I was about to say. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
So she was being honest. And she was actually telling the truth.
She told the truth, but they couldn't jump the gun on where they was going ultimately.
Right.
As we see today, but they couldn't jump the gun on that. But the bottom line was
she was telling the truth
because they had, like I was saying, they had to trust the process.
Right.
That's the thing. You got to trust the process, regardless of how crazy the process looks. That's why I say I've been through all that debating with people about this, that, and the third, but I don't do that anymore because I understand the cosmic structure. So my thing is, if it ain't your time, I don't fool with you. I'm not here to convince you of anything. But they say when a student is ready, the master will appear. And that's basically saying when you are ready to learn, when you have said, you know what, I'm in that space now, the universe will bend to your will and it will start producing individual circumstance and situation to teach you.
Right.
That's just how it goes. So Neo was the conduit for the one. So Neo, he had to be one part of the one for us to get to the one, which in essence is still one, because the both of them got together and created one thing. But it was ultimately her that activated the shit. And this was what I was telling Jay about women being the activators. The shit don't work. You don't activate this shit without that aspect. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, but see, I look at that as the duality, though. Like you need two sides to everything. Everything is two-sided. That's how I look
true.
at it.
Complementary
Like
opposites.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
got half and half that form the whole. Yin and yang.
It actually brings definition. It forms definition. That's, you know, the interaction forms definition. That's why you have light to and dark to certain degrees, because it brings forth definition. And I mean, you can't take away one because you'll lose all the, you know, there's no definition. If you take away dark and if you take away light, there's no definition. You got to combine them both together to have a form and definition. So basically, together you bring life. That's definition. You know what I mean? The opposite is like you were saying, like you bring together, you form and you bring life. Is everything does that. Like you know what I mean? You can't see in the dark, right? You can't see in the light either. Like I'm talking about real light, and I'm talking about real dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's just how this universe works, man.
so
Left,
so you
right, up, down, cold, hot. You know what I'm saying? Woman, female, God, devil. What man has made it God, devil. But you know what I mean? You got to have both sides.
yeah.
Everything in life
nothing-
has an opposite.
Exactly.
And then
And
again,
without the
actually,
opposite,
oh,
nothing can survive.
That duality. You have to have that duality. That's all the life.
So
and
going
it's so
back,
much missing from that too. It's so much missing because it's not just God and the devil, and it's a lot more surrounding that whole scenario. So it's a lot of stuff that we ain't even breached yet. You know what I mean? It's so much that hold that all together. Now you got to think about the structure that even holds that together. That's what you know what I mean. But I don't even know how to go there. But it's fucking.
so let's go back to the Matrix again. And since we're talking about duality and opposites, and we're talking about the Matrix that we're dealing with today, if you look at the reality, what you guys just explained, and what the architect was saying, the bottom line is the experience that we're having now is the other side of our reality that has to exist in order for us to get to the next level. When we talk about that slinky,
All right.
when you look at the circle at the bottom of the slinky, how it gets bumped up. So everything we're experiencing right now in this matrix, whether it's good or bad, regardless of who's doing what, regardless of who's at play, regardless of who's at fault, the bottom line is they're still being used by universe as a catalyst to push us forward to that completion point of 360 degrees of completion of that cycle. And once you get to the end of that cycle, you get bumped up and you have a whole new level. So regardless of who the powers that be are, we got names like the Illuminati and all these other names. The bottom line is they're still subjected to universal law. So when you look at the architect, the dude in the Matrix with the white suit on, how he devised everything, he was a representation of the universe. They just put it in a man form and gave it a personality for the movie. But he really was the universe. In the universe, in order for us to get to a completed level in our evolution as an entire solar system, just ours, this is what we have to go through. And everybody's playing a part. So if y'all say this is duality, then everything quote unquote bad that they're doing, from the chemtrails to the fucked up food to this and that, it is a part of our evolutionary growth that has to take place in order for us to get to that completion, to get bumped up to the next level. So we can't get rid of the bad guys because we need the bad guys.
We
to
need
push
the bad
this fucking
guys
wagon along to get us around to completing this shit so we can get bumped up.
Right.
And this is why my teacher used to always say, the universe, regardless of what it is, the universe wants it all.
Yeah. And you know what? That's created too by just how we all think differently, and we're gonna clash and build. It's like actually a cipher. It's like it's actually a cipher, like what you call bad and good. You know, like you said, like the people who's pushing this whole thing, and then we got to get through it to rise to another level. That's a cipher, man.
Yeah, I said
That's
360 degrees.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, that's a goddamn cipher, dog. It's just manifesting itself in a different way. But
It needs it all. It's all ingredients into one fucking big ass dish.
And I was
It's
gonna
just all
say
ingredients.
gumbo, but yeah,
Gumbo.
it's
Yeah,
360 degrees, which is a cipher, and that's completion. Once you complete it, you get bumped up to the next level. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening now has to occur. There are no mistakes occurring right now. It's just that the people who are not consciously aware of the mechanics of how the universe is operating, they don't understand this. They're caught up in between what they call a cause and effect. They're looking at something pushed me to the left, something pushed me to the right. I'm affected by it. I feel some type of way. That's the person who's still a slave to what's going on at the bottom level of the swing of the pendulum. As the pendulum swings back and forth, they're getting bumped around and they're affected by it and they feel some type of way. They like it, they hate it. They hot, they cold. I feel good, I don't. That's all the shit that's going at the bottom of the pendulum. But the people who are raising their consciousness are at the top of the pendulum. And when a pendulum swings, it creates a pyramid, actually. So at the top of the pyramid is where the conscious folk or God consciousness resides, which means you are now looking down. You're supposed to be looking down at all the shit that's going on at the bottom level, but you're not caught up in it. You understand it. It don't affect you.
Do you
Because
have one?
Go ahead.
Do you have one?
What, a pendulum?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have to find mine. You just reminded me.
I've been wanting to buy one
I have
forever,
to
man.
find mine.
I've been bullshitting with that, but yeah.
So yeah, when you look at the swing of a pendulum, if you look at it, it creates a pyramid. So the goal for the people who are awake, your position is at the top of the pyramid. You're supposed to be observing what's going on down here at the bottom. You're not supposed to be caught up and feeling some type of way about what's going on at the bottom, because you're not a slave to what's going on at the bottom.
There's a quote that says, it's, well, not really a quote. Yeah, it is a quote. Connected to everything but attached to nothing.
Thank you.
And I live by that. Like, I try to live by that anyway.
Yo, that sounds like Buddhism. Buddhism talks like that.
Yeah, connected to
That's
everything,
like
but you're
that.
attached to nothing.
That's exactly how I live my life. Just like that.
That I try to live my life that way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, perfect.
But see, attachment is our biggest fuck up. We be too attached to relationships.
But you learn that from being young, though. Yeah, I mean,
that's
like,
what causes pain. Attachment.
yeah, but you
causes
could
a lot of
change
pain.
all of that, like where you're not attached to
the only through experience, though.
or like
Attachment is a school of thought that even when I was going through one of my initiations, that was a concept that I struggled with because that's like a whole degree of attachment. And I struggle with that because I'm like, how could you not be attached to, certain things?
That's hard.
As I progressed forward in the teachings, I understand it better. It has nothing to do with your devotion to, like, say, for your kids and your family members. It has nothing to do with that. But being attached is your ability not being able to let go.
right.
Right.
And as Yoda says, fear of loss is the quickest way to the dark side. That's how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, because he had
And
a
there's
fear
a
of
quote
losing
for
his,
that too.
was that his wife or his girl or whoever she was?
If you
Was
want to
that-
lose
that was
something
his wife?
fast,
That was his baby mama.
Yeah,
if
He
you
had
want
a
to
fear.
lose something fast,
Yeah.
you hold
Yeah.
on to it.
yeah.
That's why BK, because he lied, told her she died. Yeah, he went crazy. Yeah.
And he
That's how I
went
live my
to
life.
great means. He went to great means of trying to save her because he didn't
Yeah.
want to lose her.
Yeah, he wanted to say it. Yeah, it fucked him up.
So fear of loss, like the little green guy said, is the quickest path to the dark side. So your attachment to shit has to be put in its proper context. That's not saying you walking around not giving a fuck about nothing. No, that's not what it's saying. I had to learn that. I had to learn how to put that in the proper
It's
context.
like respecting the situation. It's like just respecting the whole thing. Just having, it's like a level of respect. That's why I said love is respect to me. Like you have to respect the outcome of everything or how things work. You know what I mean? You
Connect
can't
to
take
everything, attached to nothing.
You know what I mean? So when you fall, okay, I would say because when you fall in love, you want control.
You're right. You're right. I use the term submit. You use the term respect. It's the same shit.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
That's
just
why
respect.
if I'm in a pickle or a situation where it's looking kind of iffy, I have to say, and I use term universe. If it's gonna be the will that this situation is gonna go left, I'm submitting to that because I can't stop that anyway. It helps, especially when you're faced with a situation of transitioning up out of here.
And it makes it easy. It actually makes it easy when you start respecting a situation and not thinking that, like not thinking that way. That it's like, I remember one time I had to do, what did I had to jump. I had to do some kind of jump. I forgot, it was way back. And the fear that I had if I made that jump, I had all these things in my mind that was going to happen to me. But then I had to reset my mind and look at it as more like something I wanted to do. Like I had to look at it like it's something that has to be done. You have to do it. So why are you fearing it? You know what I mean? Like why are you scared
Totally
to
agree, Pot.
move it? But when you reset your mind and look at it as something that you have to do, and it, kind of motivation, it creates more of a motivation for it now. And it just made it easy to do something that was very, very hard. But I changed it in a split second of the way I was thinking. So you should always attack everything in a form of excitement. The hardest obstacle, if you look at the hardest obstacle as excitement, it becomes the easiest obstacle. You know what I mean?
That is the best thing you said tonight.
Well, it all goes back to everything is mental. The universe is mental. Everything is mental. Yep. So a lot of times when we sad and depressed, we put ourselves in that. You gotta change your way of looking at it and just look at it and kind of like you said it in a positive way, or it has to be done.
And that's showing respect.
Yeah. So yeah, everything's mental, man. Everything's mental. So you can make it the worst thing ever or the best thing ever. Depends on how you look at it.
Believe it or not, that's a ass kick. Go ahead, Joanne. I'm sorry.
I said I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, all righty then.
That's how we get our ass kicked, man. Some people lose fights just because they already scared and they imagine what the person can do to them, but they could put themselves on an equal level with that person if they, you know what I mean? It's like you can change the whole game up just depending on, you can make somebody equal to you. The way you perceive things, you can put yourself on equal basis. Your mind is what puts you down there. The way you look at things, and you put yourself in a position, well, you just lowered everything that was possible because of the way you looked at it. You know what I mean?
I wish I could shake your hand virtually or hug you or something.
I got some
very funny. Very funny.
Hey,
no, it's just true though, it's
it
true.
is true, Pot. It's so true, and you are definitely speaking on it.
Thank you. I feel good. I actually feel good.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So in a nutshell, we're gonna circle back around the wagon and this Matrix thing. So I mean, realistically, people understand that the Matrix is something that has been created by the population of planet Earth based on the fact that we are being directly and indirectly influenced. And as we're being influenced, we think that they are our own thoughts, and really they're not. Our thoughts have been hijacked because they understand that we are the battery that produces the reality. And as long as they have the power to influence the machine that produces this reality, then they're always in a position to produce the reality that suits them and not us. That is the Matrix, my friend. And the Matrix has to exist because it is the catalyst that gives birth to conversations like this, movements like this, people like this, books like this, everything like this. It has to exist to give birth to stuff like this. So the universe wants it all. There are no mistakes in the universe. Everything has its purpose and its place. And I just think that for all the light bearers, and when I say light bearers, all the people who have this light that we call they have a lot of different names for it, but I'm just going to use light because light is referred to as knowledge. For those who have the knowledge at this point in time, we're light bearers. And being that there's been such a dark time on the planet, we have to be the beacons in the darkness where when people see that light, they'll just gravitate towards it. Kind of like how bugs gravitate towards lights. When you are a light, people will find you. You ain't got to go looking for them.
That's true.
And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and conclude. We're at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. and I think the show was pretty good. I want to say what's up to the chat. Dave said peace to everybody.
Hi,
he's in
Dave.
Peace,
Dave in the
Dave.
chat. Yeah, I don't know who this person is, but peace to everybody. You know. So we yeah, anybody want to any last words on this whole Matrix thing?
High
And-
five to Pot.
Yeah.
Hi,
Pot-
sir.
Pot
That
was-
was a grand entrance and a grand finale.
Yeah, he touched on some things.
Dude, the King Kong should pound your chest. Like,
Yeah. He touched on some things, but do you see how universe works?
Yes.
You see how
The
universe
martial arts,
Oh,
I see
yeah.
it clearly.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's in real time that you can see things like that manifest without pushing a button, without it. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It gets a little creepy at times, but it's real. It's very real.
Real time.
Yeah. And on that note, we're gonna say peace and everybody be safe. And thanks for tuning in. Go to YouTube, hit our like button, subscribe and share. And we'll be back next week with POD, Put Out Direct, and back doing our thing. On that note,
mm.